Right, you're on.
Okay, it is 5:30, time to call the meeting to order. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have the approval of the June 6th regular meeting. We have had a chance to take a look at these. Any questions or comments?
Just to clarify, June 8th.
June 8th.
Saw that myself.
Thanks. And is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we have the fiscal officer's report.
Just to read into the record that the board was given the appropriation and revenue status report, and the fund status report shows the township with $12,410,095.90 in its checking and investment accounts.
Okay. Anything else under fiscal officer report?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we have the current bills to pay. We have had a chance to take a look at the current bills. Anybody have any questions about the current bills? Is there a motion to approve the bill?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we have the 2016 tax budget.
Yes, sir. There have been no changes since the last one. You've been given 2 revisions. The last one just reflecting the actual health district charge. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
You don't need any kind of motion to move it on to, there's no place on it.
No, we actually accept the budget
Right.
in September.
Right.
I don't know if we need a vote.
I don't think so.
You guys, I'm gonna
Just
take it to the auditor's
move
office
forward.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, okay.
We don't
It's
have any
due July
questions,
15th.
Yeah.
So it's gonna get in there in plenty of time, so. Okay.
Excellent. Okay. Anything else from fiscal business?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have under special activities, we have a promotional hire recommendation, Brian C. Roach for probationary full-time police officer. Chief?
We had a testing process between 4 of our 5 part-time officers. Officer Roach was the one we selected to offer the full-time position to. So I'd ask the board to complete that offer and then give him the oath of office. He'll have to complete a 6-month probationary period, and his pay will go to $24.12 per hour during that probationary period. That would be effective immediately.
Okay, is there a motion to move Officer Roach to a probationary full-time police officer with the appropriate pay?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. Ryan, if you would, please. If anybody wants to take pictures, you can certainly come up here, or come down to the sides, however you like. We'll take time so you can get there. Come on.
There's plenty of room up here. Don't you feel silly?
You're on camera. Okay, if you would, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ryan Christian Roach,
Do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the resolutions adopted by the Clearcreek Township Board of Trustees.
the resolutions adopted by the Board of Clearcreek Township Trustees,
Thank you. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of a police officer and police constable
of a police officer and police constable
for Clearcreek Township Division of Police
for the Clearcreek Township Division of Police
in Warren County, State of Ohio,
in Warren County, State of Ohio,
during continuance of my lawful employment
during continuance of my lawful employment
pursuant to sections 505.49 and 509.01
pursuant to sections 505.49 and 509.01
of the Ohio Revised Code.
of the Ohio Revised Code.
Congratulations.
Please stick in your bed.
We can do that. That's all.
Thank you.
Chief, we have also for Ryan, a mission. This is something I haven't seen before. Do you want me to read this?
No, that's just our paperwork and stuff, so.
Haven't seen that
He just
before.
signs both.
That's all right. Okay,
Karen,
we'll just sign it.
Okay.
Okay. And we also have an oath of employment for Mark W. Mark, how do you spell it? Please, if you would come forward.
Holy.
Let's see.
We need to
We
give
need to
him.
hire him in too, don't we? We do.
I'll give you one that you don't want to become a police officer also.
We've already hired. If you would, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Mark Coleman,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of
the
Ohio,
Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the resolution adopted by the Board of Clearcreek Township Trustees,
and the resolution adopted by the Clearcreek Township Board of Trustees,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties as part-time road park department
the duties of part-time road/park department
personnel from Clearcreek Township,
personnel for Clearcreek Township,
Warren County, Ohio,
Warren County, Ohio,
to the continuance of my lawful employment.
and continuance of my lawful employment.
Congratulations.
He spelled your last name on your check. I'll fix it for next time.
Okay, anybody have anything under unfinished business? Okay. Under new business administration, we have resolution 4722, resolution authorizing all actions necessary to effect the governmental electric program with opt-out provisions pursuant to section 4928.2 of the Ohio Revised Code, directing the Warren County Board of Elections to submit a ballot question to the electors. We have discussed this on several occasions and have obviously decided to place this on the ballot. Now we have the correct language to do so through this resolution 4722. Does anybody have any questions about 4722? Is there a motion to approve 4722?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yeah.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we have Police District. We have draft resolution 4723. It's a resolution accepting a donation from Swartz Mulch.
Swartz Mulch always donates $100 to our National Night Out. They began doing that this year, so I'd ask the board to accept that and thank them for their donation to our National Night Out.
Is there a motion to accept 4723 in this donation from Swartz Mulch?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. Anything else, Chief? No, sir. Fire District, we have a purchase recommendation for the ambulance we've discussed a couple times. Ready to go with that?
Yes, sir.
Is there a motion to direct the chief to purchase the ambulance? And I think we've got a deadline on that. We want to get that in before the
July
price.
1st.
July 1st, okay. So motion to purchase the ambulance.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. Also, after number 2, we're going to insert something else. Firefighter number 2, firefighter paramedic Ron Bell, and firefighter paramedic Robert Burkhart have a recognition letter from a patient. Very nice.
It was nice. He's a former paramedic. He's currently a nurse, and he wrote in just to say the guys were very professional, did a great job, so for Ron and Rob,
That's great.
I'd just like to say thanks, good job.
That's very, very nice. Very nice. Also, we want to add a third item under the fire district to the agenda, and that is a repair for engine 21's air conditioning. It's seized and it needs replaced at a cost of $2,250.
Yes, sir.
There's a motion to approve this repair.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.
I would remind you eventually.
Okay, anything else from the fire department? Okay, zoning department. We have a set date for a public hearing for the zoning resolution and map amendment at 3400 State Route 741.
Yes, sir. I'm looking to set that public hearing on July the 14th at 5:30, if you are available.
We would want to decide when we're going to set the meeting first. That's okay. We discussed having a meeting on the 6th rather than the 13th.
Okay.
We haven't made that decision yet. Is that, would the 6th be, or?
You need
If I
30
may.
days.
I believe Mr. Cameron's gonna contact you about moving that, because we're not gonna be able to get the fire department study portion ready yet. He's gonna look at rescheduling. off.
He said that wouldn't be ready until the 27th.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Okay.
that.
So we're gonna do that on the last meeting of the month.
Okay.
So,
The
I
third,
think-
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think the 13th,
I can't be here on the 13th,
can't.
but that doesn't mean we can't have a meeting. I don't know what the advantage of the 6th was supposed to be.
I couldn't figure that out either.
It was supposed to be a special meeting, just
awesome.
for NOVA.
That's right, and we don't need that special meeting, now, 'cause we're doing that on the 27th. So
Not
we'll
the
leave it,
6th.
leave it on the 13th.
It should be the 13th, yeah, it's my error of the date, my apologies. Yeah,
We
I
thought
wanted on the
next
regular
year.
schedule meeting
You
as
probably
opposed
did the
to.
8th up of June 8th, too, didn't you?
Yeah. Can get you a new calendar, Jeff.
So I was gonna say, maybe I should be in 2015.
So then we'll leave it at the 13th and the public hearing can be then, I just won't be able to be in attendance, which, as long as Steve can be, which it's a
I
whole
think
meeting
so.
night,
I
so,
think-
yeah.
I would assume that,
So
I
let's-
think you told us before you.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna, yeah, right. It's
I
literally
think
the
the
only week of the
13th.
year I can take a vacation.
The 13th is fine.
Yeah, if it could be modified to the 13th, that would be fantastic. And
And just so you know, just so everybody knows, that's 3 weeks from today.
Right,
Okay,
so we're gonna have a spread because of the way the month falls.
and that's fine, you know,
Yeah,
that's just the
yeah.
way it works sometimes.
sometimes it's.
Okay, what's the motion to set the public hearing for 3400 State Route 741 on the 13th at 5:30?
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. Anything else?
Not this time, sir.
Okay, road department, we have a purchase recommendation. Scott?
Yes, sir, during that last storm that we had some, I don't know if you're familiar with Widener Road, where the very large catalpa trees are in front of the farmhouse there. The ones just to the north of that drive, there's 21 trees. About 10 or 11 of them are probably 6 to 8 feet tall. Me and Jack were expecting around $15,000, and the company we've been using said they'd take all 21 down for $6,000. So,
Wow, that's good.
yeah, it's pretty.
Less than $288.
Yeah.
Is that taking the stumps out?
That's all the way down to ground level as far as they can go. 21 trees. It's from the driveway all the way
Those
to
are
the,
huge
to the
trees.
guardrail. Some of them aren't that big of the 21, but about 8 or 11 of them are very large trees, and they're all rotten. So, and the homeowners said that they're more than happy to have us take them down. So,
Bet they are.
But they are. I'd be happy.
so we're fortunate to have the tree company we had when we lost Bradstreet. These guys came in and have done a great job. Their prices are, no one can even touch them. So.
Hmm.
It's impressive. But I was just shocked, actually. Okay, well, is there a motion to approve this purchase and get the trees down?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. Monthly report?
Yeah, just real quick, really I'm still playing catch up from being gone, but one thing I just wanted to touch base on real quick was we got our salt bids back for next year. You know, last year we had all the issues, it was $98 a ton and didn't have enough. This year, everybody got what they asked for, and the lowest salt bid we got was down to 65. So it dropped significantly. It's a new salt place I don't know of out of Detroit, but they were our lowest, and even Morton was down to 78. So we're down at least $20 if we go with Morton, and if we go with the lowest, we're all the way down to 65. So that was some good news to get. So
That's very good. Same salt, with the, out of Cleveland group with the blue salt?
No, Morton's the only one that has the blue. We didn't use the blue last year, so. I'll just,
Worked out fine,
yeah, we'll just
easier to see.
just with a new company that jumped in, you don't really know what you're getting sometimes. So.
Yeah, that would be my only concern.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. I forget the name right offhand. It just came through before I came down, so.
Now, I've forgotten, is this bid in, this is not in conjunction with the county, or is it?
No.
This is our bid?
Everything that we were with in the swap before was working fine, and I had a long talk with Jack about it, and him being new, and with, you know, with my years here and stuff, we decided probably, and even the county, we spoke to the county, recommended not changing. They said, we do not know what we're getting into. It's our first run at this. If you're happy where you're at, you may want to stay where you're at till we see what we're getting into. So even the county told us, stay where you're at until we, so they don't know how it's gonna go. It's their first year, and instead of us jeopardizing, you know, a good thing with the way it worked out for us last year, you know, we just decided to stay where we're at least maybe in a couple years, see how the county's thing's going and go from there. But as of right now, it's through with the one we've been using for years here.
Makes sense to me.
Are you involved with that lawsuit at all with the salt up in Columbus? I saw where you could go to a website.
Yeah, I got that email today too. Haven't had really a chance to go through it yet.
I didn't know who were involved in that at
It
all.
was from 2012. They won, and there's like $11.7 million to award back to entities that used them during that time in the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
You have to go in, and there's a process. I haven't really had a chance to dig into it. So.
Okay, just curious.
Okay, anything else from Scott?
No, not anything to speak of. The paving, you've seen started, so,
That's good.
and the rain's been a nightmare for them.
Yeah. Okay, anybody have anything else under staff reports?
Give you a quick update on the Hall property.
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
The auction, they did sell the contents of the property, not the property itself, but the contents at the auction. However, both the Halls were involved with us all day down there as the police department, and we ended up signing charges on them for their activities that day, interrupting the auction, doing various things. And then they called in a bomb threat, hand grenade threat, mustard gas threat, everything that they could think of. And we were down there last week and did take a grenade off the property, but it was a non-functional grenade, more or less on paperweight. The fuse was a real fuse, but it had already been expended. And the other one, the body of it was just a replica. So they may well be facing some additional charges, but we do have criminal charges as a result of the auction. And there is a company down there that did buy all the contents, and they are beginning to remove everything out of there for the next 3 or 4 months. I think it's their time frame. So we'll see some activity down there with them removing stuff. They were down there last week and again this week. So.
Just for the minutes, how long has this been going on? I mean, I don't
Mr.
know. I've been
Pickett
here 7.5
started-
years. And it's
Mr. Pick started in the 80s.
So if I say 30 years plus, 30 plus years, that's fair.
No, I wouldn't say 30, but certainly 20 plus.
Okay, for more than 20 years.
Some various form. On and on.
I didn't realize that.
Late 80s. So,
I have one thing, if no one else has anything. I exchanged some emails with you guys last week when something came up that I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware that it's common practice for a police officer to take their gun with them when they retired. And Jason and I exchanged some emails back and forth. I contacted some police departments, and I found out that most police departments sell their guns to the retirees. Now, if somebody leaves to go to a different force, that's a whole different story. But if they retire from here, typically they sell that gun for $1, okay?
City of Columbus does it for $20.
Well, the ones around here, Mason,
Right.
and some of the ones I called were $1. And then I talked to Chief Kidd about the fire department. It's typical for a firefighter when they retire to get their helmet. And we talked about, sometimes they give them, but it's nice to have a dollar amount, that $1, because if somebody ever says, I didn't get my helmet or whatever, you've got proof, because we keep those receipts forever, well, 7 years. So if somebody would come back on us, we would have proof of that. So I was wondering if this board would be so inclined to put it in writing. I hate things that are just, well, that's the way we've always done it. would put it in writing that we would do this as a policy, and then I would recommend that if possible, we could retroact. Ron doesn't leave till July 4th. I don't think that's right that we charge him full price for a gun, and I'd like to reimburse him for $319 if the board is so inclined to do that.
I think we have always, as I recall, given retirees the option to buy it for whatever the trade-in was, trade-in value or whatever, on the last time we traded one in of similar style. And that's the reason that was done, as near as I can remember. But I don't have a particular problem doing it for a smaller amount.
I don't either, based on the fact that once I did the research on it, it's very common, and it's usually
I mean, it's
part
shocked me.
of
I've
their
never heard
thank
of
you
it.
for your service. I mean,
Yes,
we're not,
exactly.
we're not talking about a very common thing. We're not gonna have 15 police officers retiring in the next few
Well,
years.
and it's my understanding that if, you're not gonna assign that gun to somebody else either. Aren't you gonna destroy it or trade it in?
Would be traded in, but even in the trade-in, the police officer, when he gets traded in, gets first dibs on buying the gun back anyways. So it really, the police officer ends up with his gun one way or the other. But in this case, it is customary that a retiring police officer would buy his weapon. That's all with the board. We're probably the most expensive place. Everybody else does do it for $1, or they just give it as a gift. We have a history of both here. Before I got here, Sergeant Fritz retired. He was given his gun as a retirement gift for his service here until he retired. Chief Piper was the next one. He was eligible to retire, even though he left for another position. He was eligible, and he was the police chief. We allowed him to buy that for the trade-in value, and I think it was $300 and some change. Mr. Wilhelm is eligible to do that. He is a certified police officer, still is a certified police officer with the state of Ohio, and would be eligible for that benefit if it wants to be extended. I asked Mr. Cameron about it. He did want to extend that, so that's the reason we're doing it. So the unions in the past have asked for that to be in their bargaining stuff. Mr. Wilhelm always just had that outside bargaining, and he didn't want to get that as part of the bargaining chip. So we kind of just adopted the Chief Piper and the trade-in value. Previous to that was a given gun, but most of the police departments do it for $1. So.
Well, how long ago was Sergeant Fritz, when did he retire? Wasn't that in the 80s?
Next month is my 9th year. He left a couple months before me, so about
Not
8.
Jeff, I'm talking about.
Oh, Jeff was in 2007.
But the other one, when did he go?
About 2 months before I got here in 2007.
Oh, okay, so he was after Jeff. Well,
Before Jeff.
I'm just thinking 2 people in 8 years. I mean, this is not.
No, it's not common at all.
Yeah, and I just think it's a respect thing, and from everything, I mean, it shocked me, because we're so fastidious about, we don't get rid of anything unless it goes through gun deals. So it really was surprising to me, and I just hate things that aren't in writing.
The
I
firearms are not eligible to go through gun deals. The only way.
Right.
But
there are
you've
two-
said in meetings before, you have to destroy them.
Well, there are two separate
Trade
ways.
in,
What we
yeah.
did with the trade-in on the shotguns is
Right.
that is forfeited or seized weapons. And that's statutorily defined in how we have to get rid of that by the ORC. So those are different than township property per se, because they're seized or forfeited
Right.
property. And we can only do that by destruction by us, by BCI. If it's a special weapon, historic in some value, we can sometimes do an auction, but we have to define the historical value of that weapon in order to do that. Other than that, we can trade it into or sell it to a licensed firearm dealer, and that's what we're doing with Kieslers. Here, we're talking about something just separate of that, which is the actual handgun carried by the officer that is township property. So it's not governed by the ORC. So I think it's open to do whatever you want to do with a price or how you want to.
Yes, you've got 2 tracks. The chief's talking about 2981, that's a forfeiture track, that's a separate track. We're not talking about that right now. Under 50510, you've got the authority under, now I'm gonna forget the number, I think it's $2,500. Under $2,500, if it's not needed for municipal purposes anymore, if it's not needed for township purposes anymore, then it can be disposed of. Frankly, even without the boards, under $2,500, it's even without the board. So you got a whole lot of leeway here. You got a whole lot of leeway to set a policy. You got a whole lot of leeway to, it's the board's play.
Well, obviously, we've done it both ways. I didn't remember, I don't remember the treasurer. I don't care, I don't have any strong feeling one way or another.
I don't either. I
That's
mean, I think it's a nice
tradition,
gesture for retirement.
As a police,
I
right?
just think,
around Ohio.
if everybody else is doing it, and not that you do what everybody else is doing, but to me, it's a respect thing.
Right.
And if somebody retires from here, I mean, I was talking to some police officers on Saturday, actually, and that's a big deal.
It is.
Their gun that they've carried for 25
Sure.
years, that should go home with them.
How long did Ron carry commission here, do you recall? Oh, let's see.
Well, he was a police officer before he was a safety director, so
I can
most-
remember, we were back in the old building, and he used to negotiate on the other side for the unit. And that was probably 86, 87.
In fact, like the chief points out, typically, I mean, in my other experience with other governments that I work with, it's in the CBA typically, as a benefit for.
Now, do they require that that particular officer would have been at the retiring department for any particular time?
Yeah, there may be some stipulation as to the length of time there. I just don't recall specifics, but those are typically in the respective CBAs.
I guess that we could,
time may be difficult because if you have an officer that's injured, he may be on the job for 5 years and be eligible for retirement because of an injury.
We'd have to define it.
Still,
Yeah.
would be a retiring police officer. So I would I guess cautious of a time limit, so much as it looks like it's permissible, just what do you want to charge?
See, that's the other issue too, is it's kind of the finger in the dike society or situation. So you've got, well, this situation applies here, and then, well, maybe we don't want to do it here because of retirement, or you got to think of, sometimes it's hard to come up with a policy that addresses all those situations.
But could the board make that decision by a case-by-case basis?
Sure, absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking.
I just think it's important to have something in writing.
Fair
Whatever
enough.
you gentlemen think is appropriate, I just think it should be in writing.
Yep.
okay, I think that we could probably just say that with respect to Mr. Wilhelm and in the future, these retirees, the board will, stop me when I go wrong here, the board will decide on the amount that a retiring police officer should pay. When we say that, does that make sense? Or should we just say $1?
I think we should.
And then we need to get it, we've got to get in the bargaining unit sometime.
Yeah, I mean, my suggestion is if it's $1, I'd just go ahead and say it now and then, unless unless another situation warrants, in which case the board will take that up at that particular time based on those circumstances.
Let's just say that we decided to,
Was that for helmets as well?
well, probably should be. So if you,
Our helmets, they only have a 10-year lifespan,
okay,
so once they hit 10 years, if we weren't to sell them to the guys, we'll literally take a sledgehammer and crush them, because we can't sell them to anybody. So if I can get $1 out of it instead of crushing it, I'm all for it.
Is that okay?
yeah, let's do that.
That's fine.
Let's put the
I wasn't
helmets.
aware there was a 10-year limit on that. That's an interesting point of,
And if I could just ask one more, I'm sorry to be such a pest about this. In this, I assume you're gonna take a vote on this. Could you go ahead and vote to make, I mean, Ron's last day is not till July 4th,
Make
so
this
we don't really need to make it retroactive,
We just
but
need to return it.
just to return his money,
Right.
so that's gonna be the motion? Okay,
Let's make that a separate motion.
Okay.
Right.
So let's-
great, okay, thanks.
So
Of course.
This motion, I knew he was gonna say that.
I just lump them all together. I don't know why you guys did so many
Wait,
motions
now,
tonight.
Ryan, are you okay with putting the gun for $1 and the helmet for $1 in one motion?
Yeah.
Are you good with that? Okay. He was being smart like he was being smart.
I was being smart.
Well,
Is there a motion to allow retiring firefighters and police officers to purchase their weapon and their helmet respectively for $1?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.
Thank you.
And then in a second motion, I'd like to entertain a motion to refund Ron Wilhelm $319 of his purchase of his firearm as a retiring police officer.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm glad we got that done.
Thanks, Linda.
Thanks.
Anything else to come up tonight? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Okay.
Motion carries.